suppose let's start with a couple of quick polls. So Brenda, back to you, please.
Okay, thank you, Kenneth. So an easy one to get everybody started. And here we're just asking, does your organization offer an MDF program to your partners? So it's just a yes or a no answer. And while people are voting and the votes are coming in, I'll just reiterate that if you have a question, please do, for the panel, please do just send it in to us and we'll get to it later on in the webinar. Okay, this is the first of two to get us started, but don't worry, they're both easy. So I think we have everybody almost who's voted there, so I'll just give it another second. And I will close this off now. I'll just open the second one for you. So in this one then, we're just asking, for those of you offering MDF programs to partners, is it proposal-based, accrual-based, or if it's a mixture of the two? Okay, people are still voting, so we'll just give it another couple of seconds. Okay, it's slowed down there now. So Kenneth, with that, I will pass it back to you to get started. Thank you.
Great stuff. Thanks very much. Okay, so let's jump into the panel discussion, and guys all feel free to chime in with your input. So Michele, I'm going to start with yourself, please. And the first topic I want to touch on today is around MDF budget allocation. So, you know, the area of budget allocation in MDF and how do we decide, you know, how best to allocate it to partners. So, you know, everything from how do you decide on the budget to how do you allocate that, Michele? So pretty broad, but if you could kick us off, please.
Sure, Kenneth. I think there's definitely no magic formula when it comes to budget allocation for MDF. And this is always a very hot topic between the program office and partner marketing, and also between the program office and finance. So unlike other incentive programs, it takes a lot more effort and time to justify the ROI of MDF spend. So MDF generate awareness for the brand that will take a lot more time to see the awareness leading to considerations for the brand and to become the brand of choice in the buying stage. So what's important to keep in mind is MDF should be spent to achieve the strategic objectives established with each partner in the joint go-to-market plan, be it developing brand awareness, new business, or the sales and pre-sales in the partner organization. So until recent years, MDF allocation was based on the revenue contribution of partners and how well a partner performed in the past year. I think this approach gives very little flexibility to develop new partners or even to drive new initiatives with existing partners. And more recently, the trend is towards a more proposal-based program rather than an accrual-based program. This way, more partners will be able to participate in the MDF program, and it generally helps to nurture new and smaller partners as well. And actual budget allocation greatly depends on the channel maturity, the product verticals, the market presence, as well as other incentive programs that you offer as part of your overall partner program. Typically, I see MDF budget allocation in the range of 2 to 6% of the channel budget. And also lastly, another key element to keep in mind is that not all partners are the same. And you may want to allocate a budget based on the partner type, location, their capabilities in driving partner marketing initiatives, as well as the propositions that they offer.
Okay, great, Michele. Yeah, because I know, like, on, you know, generating the budget is always one of the first questions, you know, I would often hear from vendors who want to run MDF, and they often struggle with, well, what percentage it is, you know, and we see everything from, like you said, you know, 2 to 6. I even see some people go with 1. It definitely depends on, you know, on the overall channel budget, but also on the product, the vertical, etc. I don't know, James, Ryan, anything you wanted to add to that before I jump to the next?
I think definitely, Kenneth, in terms of if I talk about our experience here at Extreme, we're certainly looking to tailor the MDF allocation depending on the type of partner, which is something we're doing more and more of. That's mostly determined by our marketing and local channel teams in the regions, of course, because they know the partners and the distributors best. But we're seeing a lot more of that and a lot more tailored activities specific to those partners as well. So, for example, DMRs might be different to an MSP, might be different to your traditional sort of resale partner. So we're seeing a big growth in different approaches, I guess. We're trying to support that where we can.
Very good. Yeah. Okay. Good. So
Ryan. Sorry, Kenneth. I was just going to say, I think the only other point from my side, and Michele did touch on it, is understanding partner capabilities. And I think traditionally vendors have tended to look at that kind of accrued model. I know that's changing a lot nowadays, and proposal MDF is certainly coming to the fore a lot more. But I think that definitely it makes sense to have a real eye on what your partners are able to do and what they can offer you, and have some flexibility built into your budget offerings to different types of partners in terms of what they can bring to the table with their specialisms, particularly if you're looking to move into new markets, release new solutions, or perhaps move into something like cloud if you're traditionally a hardware or a software vendor.
Yeah, no, makes complete sense. Yeah, and the other question, and we'll come to it a little bit later in terms of key metrics and ROI, because a lot of people struggle. Michele, you touched on it there, is the argument with finance, or how do I get my cut of the budget? Because it's certainly traditionally, it's not as quantifiable as something like an incentive or a rebate program. So we'll come to that in due course. But yeah, I always hear, probably the first couple of questions on MDF is, well, what percentage budget should I be using and how do I justify that?